Nagorno-Karabakh is an enclave that is largely populated by Armenians within Azerbaijani territory. Home to about 120,000 people, the disputed region has been blockaded since December last year. Consequently, the supplies of basic foodstuff, essential medicines and fuel from the Armenian capital Yerevan have been cut off, resulting in basic supplies having dried up in Nagorno-Karabakh. Now, the residents of the enclave have alleged a slow-motion genocide, with hunger being used as a weapon. But Azerbaijan has denied any blockade, insisting that it was forced to act after environmental violations. Our next report gets you the details.
Nagorno-Karabakh has been at the center of a decades-long territorial dispute between the Caucasus' arch foes, Armenia and Azerbaijan. Two wars have been fought over the mountainous territory in the past 3 decades. It came under the control of ethnic Armenian forces, backed by the Armenian military, in separatist fighting that ended in 1994. Substantial territory around the Azerbaijani region was also taken under control by the Armenian forces, but Azerbaijan wrested control of the surrounding territory in a 6-week war with Armenia in 2020. A Russia-brokered armistice that brought an end to the war left Nagorno-Karabakh's capital, Stepanakert, connected to Armenia only by the Lachin corridor. The 5-kilometer wide Lachin corridor is policed by the Russian peacekeepers, ensuring free passage between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The corridor was blockaded last December by the Azerbaijani civilians identifying themselves as ecological activists, with Russian peacekeepers turning a blind eye. In April this year, Azerbaijani border guards installed a checkpoint on the route, further tightening the blockade. And tensions escalated earlier in July when Azerbaijan temporarily shut the Lachin corridor, sparking concerns over a humanitarian crisis. On the 8th of August, Armenian police detained a dozen protesters, mostly war veterans, in central Yerevan after they blockaded a government building. Protesters were demanding that authorities unblock the Lachin corridor. The next day, a group of protesters, mostly unarmed Armenian war veterans and army volunteers, gathered near the Lachin corridor. A scuffle broke out after border guards were pushed in a bid to unblock the Lachin corridor. As the Azerbaijani blockade of the breakaway region drags into its 9th month, residents of Nagorno-Karabakh are finding it increasingly hard to access food, medicines and other essential supplies. Supermarkets are empty and public bus services have stopped due to the lack of fuel. There is no rush hour in the city and many districts have been left with no water and electricity. Chances are that the blockade, if not removed soon, may amount to a genocide of the local Armenian population. An assertion Azerbaijan claims is unsubstantiated and inaccurate.
Let me do exactly what they say. The crime of genocide could be creating conditions of life calculated to bring about the physical destruction of a group for ethnic reasons. That is a genocide. And that's exactly what happened there, because the blockade of the Lachin corridor has a purpose: to starve these people. These people, the only way these Armenians can live is if this corridor is open and they receive the food. And they are not receiving food for the last months, so they will die in a few weeks.
It is said desperate times call for desperate measures. Residents of Nagorno-Karabakh have restricted themselves to eating only what is produced locally. Even the food produced locally is delivered to Stepanakert only sporadically, as farmers lack fuel to bring their produce to the market. The crisis has been exacerbated by Russia's preoccupation with the war in Ukraine, as it is struggling to project its influence in neighboring post-Soviet states. Residents allege that the international community, despite their expressed concerns, do not really care about Nagorno-Karabakh's plight, as the beleaguered region has few natural resources. A local Armenian population, under siege for 9 months now, is hoping to avert a humanitarian disaster and could use some help.